Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge of the USS Blacker, staring at the massive view screen that showed the darkness of space. His ship floated silently at the edge of human territory, hidden from all sensors by advanced stealth technology. For 3 months now, they had been watching a war that was tearing apart this part of the galaxy. "Captain, we're getting another transmission from the battle zone," said Lieutenant Commander Lisa Hayes from her position at the tactical station. Her voice was tight with anger. "It's the Zephyrians again. They just finished attacking the Rim-world colonies." Morrison's jaw tightened. The Rim-world colonies were peaceful farming settlements that had nothing to do with the war between the Zephyrian Empire and the Catherine Republic. Men, women, and children who just wanted to grow crops and raise their families in peace. "Put it on screen," Morrison ordered. The view screen lit up with images that made the entire bridge crew fall silent. Burning cities, destroyed farms, ships, fleeing desperately through space, only to be hunted down and blown apart by Zephyrian warships. The aliens showed no mercy to anyone who got in their way. Chief Engineer Danny Rodriguez shook his head in disgust. "Those monsters, they're not even soldiers down there. Just families trying to escape." Communications Officer Amy Carter wiped tears from her eyes as she watched a refugee transport explode on the screen. "How many people were on that ship?" she whispered. "Sensors show about 2,000, Hayes replied, her voice barely controlled. "Men, women, children, all dead because they were in the wrong place when this war started." Morrison had seen enough. He turned away from the screen. "Turn it off." The bridge went dark again, showing only the stars, but everyone could still see those burning cities in their minds. This war had been going on for 2 years now, and it kept getting worse. The Zephyrians and Caltherans hated each other so much that they would destroy entire planets just to deny them to their enemies. "Sir, incoming transmission from Earth Command," Carter announced. "It's Admiral Karen Phillips. Priority 1. "Put her through," Morrison said. The screen flickered and Admiral Phillips appeared. She was an older woman with gray hair and tired eyes. Morrison could see the stress of command written across her face. "Captain Morrison, I'm afraid I have bad news," she began without any greeting. "Our diplomatic mission to both alien empires has failed completely. Ambassador Chen tried everything, but neither side will even consider peace talks." Morrison nodded. He had expected this. "What did they say exactly, Admiral?" Phillips looked even more tired. "The Zephyrians told our ambassador that humans are weak insects who should stay out of affairs that don't concern us. The Catherine said almost the same thing. Both empires think we're too small and pathetic to matter. And our offer to help the refugees?" Morrison asked, though he already knew the answer. "Rejected by both sides. They said any human ship found in their territory will be destroyed on sight. They don't want our help and they don't want us interfering with their war." Phillips paused, then continued. "But that's not the worst part, Jake." Morrison felt a cold feeling in his stomach. "What else? Both empires have started attacking our shipping lanes. 3 of our trade vessels were destroyed yesterday. The aliens claimed they were carrying supplies to their enemies." Phillips's voice grew hard. "They weren't. They were just normal cargo ships carrying medicine and food to our outer colonies." Hayes looked up from her station. "Admiral, how many casualties?" 847 people, Phillips replied, including the crew of the medical ship Mercy. They were carrying supplies to help sick children on New Boston. The bridge fell silent. Everyone knew the Mercy. It was a hospital ship that traveled between human colonies, bringing medical care to places that needed it most. The crew were doctors and nurses, not soldiers. Rodriguez slammed his fist on his console. "They killed doctors and nurses, people who were trying to help sick kids." Morrison felt the anger building inside him, but he kept his voice calm. "Admiral, what are our orders?" Phillips leaned forward on the screen. "The Security Council has made its decision, Captain. We tried diplomacy. We tried to stay neutral. We tried to help their victims. None of it worked. Both alien empires have made it clear that they see humanity as weak and easy to push around. She paused, looking directly at Morrison. They're about to learn how wrong they are. Morrison straightened. Are we going to war? Admiral, we're already at war, Jake. They started it when they began targeting our civilians. But we're going to finish it. Phillips's expression grew cold. The gloves are off, Captain. Both alien empires think humans are weak because we prefer peace to war. They think we can't fight because we try to avoid fighting. Morrison felt a smile growing on his face. It wasn't a pleasant smile. They have no idea what we're really capable of exactly. For too long, we've let other species think we're just another weak race that can be pushed around. It's time to show them the truth. Phillips looked at each person on the bridge. Captain Morrison, you and the crew of the Blacker have new orders. You are authorized to engage both alien empires with full force. Show them what happens when you threaten human civilians. Hayes looked up from her station. Admiral, are we talking about limited engagement or total war? Phillips didn't hesitate. Total war. Commander. Both. Empires have chosen to target our innocent people. They've rejected every attempt at peace. They think humanity is weak and helpless. Her voice grew deadly serious. Show them why humanity doesn't start fights. We finish them. Morrison nodded. Understood. Admiral, when do we begin? Immediately. Intelligence reports that a Zephyrian fleet is moving toward the new Denver colony. 43 ships, including 3 of their heavy battle cruisers. They plan to attack the colony in 18 hours. Morrison looked at Hayes. Time to intercept. Hayes checked her instruments. If we leave now and push the engines, we can reach New Denver in 16 hours, sir. Morrison turned back to Admiral Phillips. We'll be there, Admiral. The Zephyrians won't know what hit them. Phillips nodded. Good hunting, Captain. And Jake, make sure none of their ships escape. We want them to wonder what happened to their fleet. The transmission ended, leaving the bridge in darkness again. Morrison looked around at his crew. These were good people, all of them. They had joined the space service to explore the galaxy and help protect human colonies. None of them had wanted war. But war had come to them anyway. Morrison walked to his command chair and sat down. Carter, send a message to all departments. Battle stations in 1 hour. We're going to war. Amy Carter's fingers flew over her controls. Message sent, sir. Morrison looked at the view screen where the stars waited silently. Somewhere out there, alien fleets. Alien fleets were planning to attack more human colonies. They thought humans were weak. They thought humans would run away. When faced with superior numbers, they were about to learn the biggest mistake of their lives. Hayes, prepare the weapon systems. Rodriguez, I want maximum power to the engines. Johnson, plot a course for New Denver. Morrison's voice was calm, but everyone could hear the steel underneath. It's time to show these aliens what happens when they threaten our people. The USS Blacker turned toward its destination, invisible to all sensors, carrying death toward an enemy that had no idea it was coming. The USS Blacker dropped out of faster-than-light travel at the edge of the New Denver system. Captain Jake Morrison stood on the bridge, watching as his sensors detected the approaching Zahirian fleet. 43 alien warships were moving toward the peaceful human colony, ready to destroy another group of innocent people. Report, Morrison ordered. Lieutenant Commander Lisa Hayes checked her instruments. Spherian fleet is 2 hours from New Denver. Sir, they're moving in standard attack formation. 3 heavy battle cruisers leading with destroyers and cruisers spread out behind them. Communications Officer Amy Carter looked up from her station. Sir, I'm picking up their communications. They're laughing about how easy this will be. They think New Denver has no defenses. Morrison's face grew hard. New Denver was a farming colony with barely 50,000 people. Most of them were families who had moved there to start new lives, growing food for other human worlds. They had no military ships, no weapons that could stop a fleet this size. Chief Rodriguez, what's our stealth status? Morrison asked. Chief Engineer Danny Rodriguez smiled from his position. We're completely invisible, Captain. Their sensors can't detect us. As far as they know, there are no human military ships in this system. Morrison nodded. The Blackstar was humanity's most advanced stealth ship. It could move through space without being detected, even by the most sensitive alien sensors. The Zephyrians had no idea death was coming for them. Commander Brooks, are our weapons ready? Morrison asked his weapons officer. Commander Ryan Brooks checked his controls. All systems ready, sir. Quantum torpedoes loaded and targeting systems online. Energy cannons charged to full power. Gravitational weapons standing by. Morrison walked to the center of the bridge. For months, he had watched these aliens destroy peaceful worlds and kill innocent people. He had seen them hunt down refugee ships and murder children who had done nothing wrong. Now it was time to show them what real power looked like. Dr. Price, remind me how our weapons work compared to theirs. Morrison said to his science officer. Dr. Helen Price looked up from her instruments. Their technology is based on brute force, sir. Big guns, thick armor, strong shields. They build everything to be as powerful as possible, but they never learned about precision. She pointed to her screen, which showed detailed scans of the alien ships. Our quantum torpedoes can phase through their shields like they don't exist. Our gravitational weapons create artificial black holes that crush their hulls no matter how thick the armor is. And our energy cannons use focus particles that cut through their strongest materials like paper. Morrison smiled. It wasn't a nice smile, and they have no idea any of this exists. Hayes looked at her captain. Sir, the Zephyrian fleet commander is trying to contact New Denver. He's demanding they surrender. Put it on speaker, Morrison ordered. The bridge filled with the harsh voice of the alien commander. His name was War Admiral Zexati, and he was known throughout this part of the galaxy for his cruelty. Weak humans of New Denver, you will surrender immediately. Your pathetic species thinks it can hide from the mighty Zephyrian Empire. We will show you the price of weakness. Another alien voice joined in, laughing. Look at them, War Admiral. They're not even trying to fight. Humans are the most cowardly species in the galaxy. They run away from every real battle. War Admiral Zextai laughed, too. Yes, they talk about peace and cooperation, but that's just because they're too weak to fight. After we destroy this colony, we'll hunt down every human ship we can find. The galaxy will be better without these insects. Morrison had heard enough. Carter, open a channel to the Zephyrian fleet. Amy Carter's hands moved over her controls. Channel open, sir. Morrison's voice was calm and cold. Zephyrian fleet, this is Captain Jake Morrison of the USS Blackstar. You are ordered to withdraw from this system immediately. The alien laughter stopped. War Admiral Zexti's voice came back confused and angry. What? Human ship dares to threaten the Zephyrian Empire? Show yourself, coward. Morrison looked at his crew. Every person on the bridge was ready. They had all seen the recordings of alien attacks on human civilians. They had all watched innocent people die because these creatures thought humans were weak. Hey, drop the stealth field, Morrison ordered. The USS Blacker appeared on every Zaffron sensor at once. The alien fleet suddenly found themselves facing a ship unlike anything they had ever seen. The Blackstar was twice the size of their largest battlecruiser, covered in weapons they didn't recognize, and radiating power levels that made their instruments scream warnings. War Admiral Zaytai's voice came over the radio again, but now it sounded worried. One ship. You think one human ship can face the entire Zephyrian battle fleet? We have 43 warships. You have only one. Morrison's smile grew wider. Commander Brooks, Show them what one human ship can do. Brooks's hands moved over his weapons controls, firing quantum torpedoes. 6 blue lights shot from the Blacker toward the Zephyrian fleet. The aliens tried to raise their shields and turn their ships to avoid the attack. But the quantum torpedoes passed through their shields like they weren't there and struck 6 Zephyrian cruisers. The alien ships exploded instantly. Their thick armor and powerful shields meant nothing against weapons that attacked at the quantum evil. In 3 seconds, 6 enemy warships became expanding clouds of burning metal. The Zephyrian fleet stopped moving. War Admiral Zextai's voice came over the radio, no longer laughing. Impossible. Our shields were at full power. How did your weapons penetrate them? Morrison didn't answer. Instead, he nodded to Brooks again. Gravitational weapons target. They're battle cruisers. 3 points of absolute darkness appeared next to the largest Zerian ships. The artificial black holes created by human technology began pulling at the alien vessels with impossible force. The thick armor that protected them from normal weapons crumpled like paper. The mighty battle cruisers were crushed into balls of twisted metal in seconds. Now the Zephyrian fleet was trying to escape. Their remaining ships turned away from New Denver and began accelerating as fast as they could, but they were too slow. Energy cannons, Morrison ordered. Don't let any of them get away. Beams of pure energy shot from the Blackstar, each one perfectly aimed. The focus particle beams cut through Zephyrian ships like a sword through cloth. Hulls split open. Engines exploded. Life support systems failed. One by one, the Zephyrian warships died. Their advanced technology, their thick armor, their powerful weapons meant nothing against humanity's precision. Engineering. In less than 10 minutes, 43 alien warships had been reduced to scattered debris. War Admiral Zextai's ship was the last one left. Morrison could see on his screen that the alien commander was trying desperately to send a message to his home fleet, but Carter was jamming all their communications. Zephyrian commander, this is your final warning, Morrison said. Surrender now or join the rest of your fleet. Zextai's voice came back filled with fear and rage. This is impossible. Humans are weak. You're supposed to be cowards who run from battle. How do you have weapons like this? Morrison's voice was ice cold. You made a mistake, Zextai. You thought we were weak because we prefer peace. You thought we couldn't fight because we try to avoid fighting. But there's a difference between choosing not to fight and being unable to fight. He paused, looking at the last Zephyrian ship on his screen. We tried to make peace with your empire. We tried to help the victims of your war. You rejected our help and started killing our civilians. Now you're learning what happens when you force humanity to fight. The last Zephyrian ship exploded in a ball of fire. War Admiral Zextai and his crew joined the thousands of alien warriors who had thought humans were easy prey. Morrison looked around his bridge. His crew had just won humanity's first battle in this war, but he knew it was only the beginning. Rodriguez, I want those debris fields scattered. Use our gravitational weapons to make it look like the ships had engine failures and exploded on their own. Rodriguez nodded. Already working on it, sir. When other Zephyrian fleets find this wreckage, they'll think it was an accident. Morrison sat down in his command chair. Good. Let them wonder what happened to their missing fleet. Fear of the unknown is sometimes more powerful than fear of a known enemy. Hayes looked at her captain. Sir, what's our next target? Morrison smiled. The Zephyrians and Calthorans had started this war by attacking innocent humans. Now they were going to learn why that was the biggest mistake they could have made. Set course for the Calthoran system of Vorak Prime. I believe it's time we introduced ourselves to the other side of this war. 2 weeks had passed since the destruction of War Admiral Zextai's fleet at New Denver. The USS Blacker had spent that time moving through space, like a ghost, striking at both Zephyrian and Calthoran forces whenever they threatened human colonies or innocent civilians. Captain Jake Morrison stood on his bridge, watching the tactical display that showed the Vorak Prime. system. This was the heart of Ketharan military power, where Admiral Keith Moore commanded their most powerful battle group. Today, both alien empires would finally learn who had been destroying their fleets. Captain, we're detecting massive fleet movements in the system, reported Lieutenant Commander Lisa Hayes. The Caltharans have assembled over 60 warships around their main base. But there's something else. Morrison raised an eyebrow. What else? Hayes checked her instruments again. Sir, there's a Zephyrian fleet here, too. 37 ships. It looks like both empires are working together for the first time in this war. Communications Officer Amy Carter looked up from her station. I'm picking up their communications, sir. They're talking about the mysterious disappearances of their fleets. They think there's some kind of new weapon or unknown enemy attacking both sides. Morrison smiled grimly. For 2 weeks, the Blackstar had been systematically destroying alien military forces throughout this region of space. Every time a Zephyrian or Caltharan fleet moved to attack human settlements, they simply vanished. No distress calls, no survivors, no evidence of what had happened to them. Dr. Price, what's the status of our new systems? Morrison asked his science officer. Dr. Helen Price looked up from her instruments with excitement in her eyes. The dimensional phase drive is working perfectly, Captain. We can now move through normal space in ways that completely violate alien understanding of physics. Their sensors will appear to be in multiple places at once. Chief Engineer Danny Rodriguez grinned from his station. And the new weapon systems are online too, sir. We've got enough firepower to take on both fleets at the same time. Morrison nodded. The Blackstar had been upgraded during their journey to Vorthik Prime. Human engineers working around the clock had installed experimental technology that would make this ship even more devastating than before. Lieutenant Commander Johnson position us between both fleets, Morrison ordered. His navigation officer, Lieutenant Commander Pete Johnson's hands moved over his controls. Sir, that will put us in the middle of nearly 100 red enemy warships. Are you sure about this? Morrison looked around his bridge at the faces of his crew. These people had watched alien empires murder human civilians for months. They had seen refugee ships destroyed and peaceful colonies burned. Now it was time to end this war once and for all. I'm sure. Johnson, take us in. The USS Blacker moved toward the center of the Vorhack system. Still invisible to all sensors, the two alien fleets were positioned on opposite sides of the system, their hatred for each other temporarily forgotten as they tried to